Greetings ladies and gentlemen, I am Lord Mon and this is my fourth attempt at a walkthrough tactics guide review of Don't Starve, which is a fantastic game. It is a survival game. Quick warning, if your character dies in this game, they die forever, like the character gets deleted, so try not to get too attached to your characters and hopefully this guide will prevent your death. So this is my list of characters. There's two of my tutorial characters. So I will start a new game. If you find that the game is too challenging for you, you can mess around with the options in your world. You make there be less creatures, more food, etc, etc, but we'll just go on default because that's the way the game's meant to be played. So let's start. So yeah, I've had a few technical difficulties doing the guide for this game. Some of them being footage that got destroyed, some of them being my webcam got knocked off me, and so yeah, it was just filming sort of the wall, sort of me. So first things first, this game will not tell you anything about how to play it. I am going to tell you some things, so if you care about that, then probably stop watching. Other things. You collect a lot of resources in this game, like a lot. That is the aim of the game. Say the most important resources are probably saplings, which give you twigs, and grass, which gives you grass. These two things build nearly every early game item. So it's important to stockpile on them before it gets a bit more dangerous to be around. One thing that the game doesn't tell you, press space to collect the closest item to you. This will save a whole bunch of clicking and a whole bunch of time. You can also use first person shooter controls, WASD, to move your character around, so I'm not actually clicking at all with my mouse. When I was first playing this game I was just clicking everywhere. So you can save a bit of just effort really by using these simple controls. Spacebar will not initiate combat though, unless you set it like that. I suggest setting something like left control or something to attack the closest enemy. Otherwise, spacebar is just going to make you collect the closest thing while a creature is eating you. So the main reason why I'm collecting all of these things is to build rabbit traps. You can also build a whole bunch of other really good items out of saplings and grass, but rabbit traps are the main reason I'm collecting all this stuff early on. You will notice that there is a stomach here, which is your hunger meter, which will go down. If it goes down too far, you starve to death, like below 0. You got a sanity meter, your character will start hallucinating if it goes too low, and a health meter, which goes down as you get hit. So to restore your sanity, which currently is full for me, you collect flowers. You get 12 flowers and you can go into your dress and build yourself a garland, which is a flower hat. They'll restore sanity over time. I'm not picking up flowers because flowers go bad. It uses their sort of food rotting system, so they go bad over time, so it is just a waste to gather heaps of flowers until you need them. So my main advice for the early days is to grab a whole bunch of resources and explore. You walk really quickly on a road, so if you find a road, just run around. And what you're trying to do is find a place like this. I found it pretty easy. It's a place with a bunch of rabbit holes. So what you want to do is you want to craft a bunch of traps. You can bait the traps, but there's no real need to do it provided you set the traps exactly here. You set them here, when the rabbits wake up they will walk into your trap and be caught instantly. You can bait the traps if you want, but baiting traps uses carrots or other vegetables and you need those to live. Like really, food is hard enough to get in this game as it is. Unless, whoa, this is like the rabbit gold mine. This character is fine. So what you want to do is you want to find a pretty good campsite. You don't want to just set up camp in any old place. You want to carefully think about where you're setting up camp. Luckily for this character, I found pretty much the perfect campsite. Bunch of rabbits. That rabbit just got caught, so I just check the trap, get the rabbit, and then you got to kill the rabbit to eat it. So, kill a rabbit, and there, I've got food. So, that's great. This is the perfect campsite. But had you not found a campsite like this, there's even more rabbits. Alright, so rabbits respawn pretty much every night. I don't actually have any wood. I gotta address that pretty quickly. It would be such a shame for this character to die for lack of starting a fire. Oh god, where's the tree? Where is a tree? There's a tree. Yeah, that's the other thing. Without a light source, nighttime will kill your character pretty well instantly. Well, you get a few seconds, but it is the other easier way to die. But unfortunately, it is the easiest way to... rather, the easiest thing to prevent. Just carry some logs, and just build a fireplace so you've got some fire. Whoa, that's squeaking noise. Oh, that's the bird. There is a little friend you can find. I found it in my previous tutorial where I knocked the webcam about. You can find a little friend who carries things for you that makes that exact same noise. So, just grabbing a bunch of grass. I found this is by far the easiest way to get food on a permanent basis, because rabbits constantly respawn. Yeah, it's just a really good source of food. A lot of worlds you will not find a place with this many rabbit holes, but if you find about 6, it's worth setting up a campsite. I don't actually have any stones, so I can't set up a fire pit, which is like a permanent fire. You place those down on your main campsite. I don't have any gold or anything, but as far as a day 1 goes, this has been an amazing sort of run. Hey, cool, I found a dead guy. Dead guys carry pretty good equipment most times. Presumably they starve to death because some of them have huge combat gear or just awesome items, but none of them have like rotting food around them, which makes me believe that they all starve to death. Now when setting up your campfire, make sure you're away from anything that looks remotely flammable, because it will set close things on fire. The fire pit won't. The fire pit is far more safer. Whoop, it's almost night time. Cool. So, I have found my ideal camp, but normally you'll search for a few days to find a place like this. What you're looking for is a place with a lot of rabbit holes, or beefalo, or... yeah, anything like that. So that would keep you alive, like a good source of food. If you find the pigman, building a camp around there is pretty good for emergencies, because pigmen won't attack you unless you attack them, and they will attack other monsters. So if you're getting chased by something big and scary, if you know where your local pigman village is, you can just hide, just run away from the monster, the pigmen will run out and kill them. So nighttime tends to be pretty dull, but it is a good time to get some nutrition. Basically, cook all the food you have that you plan to eat. Cooking makes it restore more of your hunger. So just eat all that. Now I'm good for another day of adventuring. Now don't be too obsessed with just getting twigs and grass. Obviously you need to find some food. You need some flint to build tools. If you've got a spare 2 flint, I would recommend building a pick and finding a bunch of rocks. Once you break rocks, you'll get some gold, some stone, and some more flint. So you'll never run out of tools if you break some rocks. If you don't break rocks, you might run out of tools. Some places flint is really hard to find. Other worlds, you just get them for free. Like, flint will just be everywhere. So you notice nighttime drains my sanity a little bit. Losing 2 points of sanity isn't game ending by any means. But I am going to look around, try find some rock, because I need some rocks. Still just gathering the grass and the twigs. I know that I don't really have to look for too much food now, because I have that big bunch of rabbits' nests. But you can always pick up food while you're travelling. You don't have to return to your base every day. In fact, it's better if you don't. Just explore as much as you can on the first day. So I found that that's where this part of the world ends, so I'll leave that and keep looking. I'm really looking for... more flint. Really looking for some big rocks to crack open so I can build a more permanent base. It's my objective for today. It's a good rule of thumb to think of an objective for your day. It can be something simple as, I'm gonna get a lot of wood. Speaking of which, I should get more wood. Or it could be something like, I'm gonna get a bunch of grass, or I'm gonna find a new area. Stay focused. If you keep just wandering around, you'll probably wind up just dying for no real reason. You need to be objective based, find more and more resources. This game is very much on a time limit, in the sense that around from day 5 onwards you can be attacked by all manner of creatures that will actually hunt you down. Your character will start complaining about hearing weird noises or barking. The barking's pretty obvious. And what that means is there are bloodhounds after you, so you should hopefully be ready for combat by that time, like with a spear or a log suit. So I'm going to prepare for that because I know it's eventually going to happen. If you're terrible at combat, then try find some pigman houses because they'll help you out. They'll fight off the hounds and keep you alive. You just have to get out of the way. So I've already got a suit of armor. It's a grass suit. It's okay. It's not the best thing in the world. So I'm going to try and replace that pretty soon. So I'm cutting down a few trees. Cutting down trees even gets more dangerous over time. You've got a risk of one of them waking up and becoming a tree guard, which is a big scary monster that basically ends your world unless you're good at dodging in combat, or unless you plant a bunch of trees next to him. So click on your pine cone. Oh, I'll chop down this tree and I'll show you. You place them near him, place enough of them, and yeah, you'll decide that you're a good enough person to not be horribly killed. So you just click on it and then right click, whoa, new tree. So you can plant trees near your base and then you have trees to chop down. But as the game goes on, you try not to chop down too many trees in one day, just to reduce the risk of one of those appearing. So here's my glorious kingdom of rabbit holes. So I will trap a bunch more of them. Traps do break over time, so it's worthwhile getting more grass and more twigs. There's a rock there, but it doesn't have any gold veins in it, so it's unlikely that any of these are going to have gold in them. However, they will have flint, so I might as well mine them. It will be dark soon. Alright, nitrate is pretty useless, in all honesty. It is used to make gunpowder, which is a late game item, which does huge amounts of damage to things that don't run away. So I found some flint. I'm just going to collect my rabbits, start a fire, and call it a night. I failed in my gold finding objective. Did get some rock, but not nearly enough. Gather all my rabbits. So yeah, I got plenty of food. So food's not really an issue for this character. Normally it is. But far more characters die of starvation than anything else. Make sure I set the trap in the right place. So yeah, I'm nearly full. So I am looking for gold to build a science machine, which will let me basically build all manner of sciencey items. Like basic weapons and armor or a backpack. Another thing to notice is rabbits use a bunch of inventory space. While they're alive, they do not spoil or go bad, but they do use a bunch of space. So you gotta sort of toss up, and I'm pretty sure if you drop them, they just run away, so don't really want to drop them. I'm just gonna eat these seeds. They don't restore the most hunger in the world, but they do restore a little bit. It is pretty safe to venture around in twilight hours, but you know, you want to make sure you can get back to your fire or you'll die instantly, and it's a really bad way to go, just doing a little bit more exploring and then dying. So, first couple nights tend to be a bit boring until I can get this science machine, which I just need a gold for. And then I can upgrade all manner of things. I want the log suit, which is made out of rope and wood. You make rope out of grass, so grass is even more important. And a spear, which is again made out of rope and flint. So once I get these two items, I'll be ready to face the hounds. Hopefully I'll be able to build them before the hounds come. Generally, yeah, you are able to build. It's not such a huge rush. It's not like, whoa, I made one mistake, I'm dead. But the little mistakes do wind up adding up, so you want to make the least amount possible. I want to build a shovel as well. Shovels are really handy. But you need a science machine. Once you invent the item once, you don't need to return to your science machine, so invent a whole bunch of stuff. Oop, fire's going out, don't want to insta-die. Yeah, invent a whole bunch of stuff while you're at camp at night time, and things will be good. As it stands, I have a permanent camp, but I don't have enough rock, and I don't have any gold. So that's pretty depressing. Just waiting for night to end. So the axe, shovel, and pickaxe are your main three items. Hammers, nah, not so much. And neither are the pitchforks. Warning with the razor. Once you start growing a beard with Wilson, you might be tempted to shave it. Do not shave it unless you know what you're doing at winter time. If you don't know what winter is in this game, then you shouldn't be shaving the beard. Basically, in winter, there's another thing that can kill you. Temperature. If it gets too cold, your character will freeze and die. Fortunately, a very long beard, which can be gained by just not shaving, will do wonders for preventing freezing to death. It is one of the best, I guess, items, but it's not even an item. See all the rabbits caught? I'll pick them all up before nighttime happens. I don't really need them now because my inventory is full. Yeah, so the beard is the best item for surviving winter. Combined with other clothes. Did I get any gold? Nope, that's depressing. I really need gold, otherwise this game is a lot more difficult, to be honest. Even more rabbit holes, so I found like a second camp here. Yes, I did. So this campsite is actually amazing. Heaps and heaps and heaps of rabbits, so I'm definitely not running out of food. At wintertime, normally most food producing things produce less food. Not rabbits. Well, not noticeably anyway. Rabbits just keep pouring out of these rabbit holes, and I have more than enough to stay good through the winter. So it's the sort of thing you want to be looking for. This sort of grassy plains, I guess you would call it. Very likely to have rabbit holes scattered through. Sort of dark areas or just plain grassland tend not to have too many rabbit holes. Just wandering along the path obviously making me move a whole bunch quicker, and I really want to try find a place with a bunch of rocks. Nope. No luck? Well, let's see how far we can go. There's a rock, but I want to look for a rock that has gold streaks in it. Which means there's a very high chance... Whoop, this looks like there might... Nope, just a piece of rock. It's this sort of tile that tends to have a bunch of rocks on it. Let's go off the beaten path and see if I can find anything. Nope, that was a waste of time. Keep exploring. This is the type of rock that I wanted. There's the gold, so I can build a science machine now and do some science. I'll just do a little bit more exploring. Get some more rocks so I can build a fire pit. Yep. Replace my pick. There's a pig man. So pigmen are your friends. They won't attack you unless you attack them, and you can give them food and they will help you out. They'll even chop down trees for them. For you. If you start chopping down a tree and they're around, then they will join in. So they're really handy. They will kill any creatures, or at least try to, that attack you. So if you're not confident at fighting at all, find some pigmen. You can find entire villages of them. Their houses look like what you may have seen. That, if there's a bunch of those houses all around, you can build a pretty defendable camp, and when you start hearing the hounds being released, that weird growling noise, you can just flee to your pigman habitat. Here's another thing. You mine this, and it will reveal the cave. Do not go in the cave unless you're ready. There's lots of dangerous creatures down there. It's permanently nighttime, so you need a whole bunch of torches, or ideally like a miner's helmet. It's way easy to die in the caves. Way too easy. And since I'll delete your character, make sure you're ready. It'll save a lot of frustration. Even more rabbits. So this character is blessed. Normally food is a lot harder to come by, but I might have some shortage of other thing. I don't know what it could be. I seem to have all the basic resources I need to survive. Maybe there's more monsters, but there doesn't seem to be any spider nests from where I looked at. So that can be a problem. Spiders give you silk, which lets you create most clothes in the game. If you can't create clothes, then when winter comes, you will freeze. However, I am Wilson and I have a mighty beard, or I will. Probably by the end of this tutorial. And that will keep me warm during winter, so I do not fear winter like most characters do. And I happen to know that I can make rabbit earmuffs out of nothing but rabbits and twigs. So that my beard will keep me alive. Most people, that's not a viable solution to stay alive. But Wilson with his mighty beard, well, yeah, not particularly mind winter. So he's a really good character to try and go far with. No other character can actually grow out their beard, and so no other character has a fun time at winter unless you use modded characters. So those rabbits are still trapped. I don't really want to grab them yet. So I'm going to build my fire pit. So this is going to be my permanent camp. Chuck some fuel on the fire. And build my science machine. So I will be able to... That's an alchemy engine, not a science machine. There's my science machine. So I can actually build that. And what am I going to invent? Not a hay wall. Is it survival? Going to invent a backpack. So I pick that up, gives me more item slots. Okay, you cannot wear armor and use a backpack at the same time, which normally isn't a problem. I'm just going to craft some rope real quick so I can make my armor and my spear. Where's my spear? It'll be in fight. There's my spear. And I need one more log. It's too dangerous. It'll be nighttime. I need one more log. So it tends not to be too bad carrying a backpack and your armor, like just because you're not in combat all the time. You've seen, I don't think I've fought anything yet in this run through. So you don't need to be too worried about combat. I'll just grab a couple of these rabbits. But what you do need to make sure is that you don't leave your spear inside your backpack, because if I equip this, I drop my backpack and I can't grab my spear. So make sure you leave your combat items out of your backpack, so when I'm forced to drop it, I think I can just right click. I can just right click on my spear. There we go, so now I'm all equipped. Your backpack's not going anywhere. Nothing will steal it. I think maybe if there's food in it, maybe something might get attracted to it, but nah, it's fine on the ground. I don't really want to burn anything or do anything. So my sanity's still pretty good, to be honest. Inventing things gets your sanity back, so that's why it's so high. So flowers and inventing, that is the way to get your sanity back. And I'm full, well, nearly full hunger and nearly, yeah, nearly perfect everything by the end of day 3. Now normally if you haven't found a good campsite, you'll be getting pretty darn hungry. I got really lucky and found pretty much the ideal campsite off the bat. So I will build this log armor and see if there's anything else I really want to show you. Eventually you'll build like an alchemy engine and different, basically just different things as time goes on. But you can get really far with just a science machine. Don't feel bad if you can't build your alchemy engine. You can see now I can invent my spear even though I am really far away from my alchemy science station. Science station is what I was thinking of. So I'll chop down this tree and I'll invent myself some log armor. So look, I didn't particularly rush. I did find my base pretty darn early, but it's not that hard to get everything you need to survive. So I'm going to invent this log suit just because dying is the worst thing that can happen. It's better to waste a bit of time and make sure you can survive. Where did I put... There's my base. Yeah, it's better to put some time into actually not dying. So I'm going to take that out of my backpack. It's far better than the grass one, so I'll just leave the grass there. So I've ticked my main objectives. Get the spear, get the log armor, get a good camp with a bunch of food. And then my next objective will be, I guess, just sort of exploring. Exploring for more rocks and maybe a big pigman village or anything interesting. I found out where the cave entrance is. That's pretty handy. And know where sort of a bunch of resources are. Again, that's handy. I don't know where any spiders are, so that's pretty annoying. But this world seems pretty peaceful actually, apart from the hounds coming to attack me randomly. Whoop. Hey, cool! So here's a little tip. Normally you can't catch these things, but you can put down some berries and they should be attracted to them. And then you run up and ambush them. Oh damn it, did they eat the berries? There we go. For some reason my force attack wasn't working. He did eat one of my berries. If you time it properly, they won't eat any of your berries, and you just got a free 2 drumsticks. But yeah, for some reason my force attack wasn't working. Alright, well, I'll try to do it this time. Might have to rebind it, so I'm just going to click on it. See? Didn't eat any of my berries. Free food. Pro tip. So... yeah, not much else to do, really. I've got all my food, I've got that sorted, so now it's preparing for winter. So... need some spider silk or some beefalo parts to get my winter clothing on. Again, it's not hugely important. This character is pretty well set. So much grass. This is like the ideal location. Normally you have to settle for something much less. Speaking of which, if you do have a lot less, you can build a shovel, dig up all these berry bushes and things and put them closer to your base. Just sort of do a bit of farming. A wormhole, if you can't find any food, jump in it. It won't attack you, it'll just take 15 sanity or so. And it'll take you to an entirely different place. So if you can't find food in the land you're in, might as well go to another land. As it is, I am pretty darn content with where I wound up. Look, here's another place with a bunch of rabbit holes. 4 rabbit holes? Not ideal, but by no means bad. Watch out for the bees. Hey, cool, an eye bone. So what this gives you is a little friend who is just like another backpack. It's 2 games in a row where I found this guy. So he'll follow you around, he'll get attacked in combat. He's pretty durable, but he can die if you get hit enough. Suspicious dirt piles. I can follow these to hunt down a mammoth. and it's a bit of a boss battle, but if you kill it, you get something that you can combine with spider silk. And you make a warm, fluffy vest, I think. So there's another pigman, just one. There's no point building a camp around here. Like, you can build secondary camps just around pigmen or good resources. It is getting a bit late. Don't know if I can actually be bothered returning to my camp. I might just set up another little campfire. But yeah. You can follow his footprints and make a fluffy jacket. Word of caution though, make sure you have, what is it? I think it needs like 12 silk, maybe 8. Get the silk from the spiders first, because for some reason the bits from cows that you get, that's another suspicious dirt pile. Not the meat from cows, the meat from the elephant that you get, or the parts from the elephant used to make the clothes, can actually rot and go bad, and you can't make clothes once it's rotten. Once it's built, the clothes don't rot, so I don't know what the go is there, but get the silk first. So I'm not even going to hunt down that guy, because I know I won't find the spiders, and it'll just be a waste. Actually, there's a spider. Didn't drop any silk. Now, if you're not too good at combat, here is... spiders are easy. If you can't kill a spider, then you may have to reevaluate everything. But if you're really scared of spiders, you can set up rabbit traps and just lure them into them. But look, like, they just get mushed, and there's a piece of silk. So I'm going to be ready for winter. I'm just going to mush these guys. Now spiders, I think their attacks get cancelled if you just hit them. So they're not really that threatening at all. Most big creatures, that does not happen. So they'll just walk up and just eat you. So you do have to dodge and then run in and attack, dodge, run in and attack. Most creatures, you can hit them twice and run away pretty successfully. But, you know, you'll learn each creature's sort of attack timers. But yeah. So, yeah, this is basically how to survive. Sort of a shame that I found the ideal camping place so quickly, but that's what it looks like. A whole bunch of rabbits, a whole bunch of traps. If you don't have a bunch of rabbit holes, you can, I don't know, dig up a bunch of berry plants, berry bushes, and put them wherever your campsite is, like maybe in a pigman village. Not sure if pigs eat berries. But another good place to build like a secondary camp is if there's a bunch of pigmen houses all in an area, you can, yeah, build there and be really safe from monster attacks. So this has been my little Don't Starve guide. So remember, around day 5 or 6 you get attacked by hounds. Day 21 is winter, so you want to be prepared. Grow that beard and do not shave it. Until after winter. After winter you have my permission to shave it because the beard can be used to craft meat idols, which will bring your character back to life once if they die. So that's a pretty good way of getting around the whole death thing. Remember, keep your spear and your armor somewhere really easy to grab so you don't just get killed unexpectedly. Thought Chester was a monster there. And yeah, don't starve. Thanks for watching.